And a team which is diverse in its skills and expertise tend to have better results. However, because of this diversity, instead of making the most of this diversity, a leader is usually just struggling with building that cohesiveness and trust in the team.
Correct.
What can a leader do in such situation in order to lead a diverse team in the most productive and effective manner?
Okay. So, I see this is an important
Mm,
question because I think it
mm,
is, I don't know anybody who doesn't have to deal with diverse people on a daily basis. And see, for me, diversity is a spectrum,
mm,
right? And it exists at multiple levels. There is geographical diversity, there is cultural diversity. Within that culture, there's regional diversity. Within that, there is, if some kind of class-based diversity. Within that, there is education-based diversity. Within that, there is the education institutions-based diversity.
mm,
Ultimately, we come down to an individual and the way they think, right? So the diversity exists at multiple levels. So when you are a leader of a diverse team, you have to recognize that you will confront all of that diversity. When you look at cultural diversity, if you come from very individualistic cultures, you might look at collectivistic cultures and struggle with the passive aggressiveness that seems to exist in that. When you look at regional diversity, you will struggle with language conversations. For example, in India, in one office, you will hear 15 languages, and therefore the official language of business is English, because that's the only way to manage that diversity. So there is a solution at each level of diversity. What it requires from us, for each leader, what it requires from me is an understanding that diversity exists at multiple levels, and at each one of those levels I'll have differing knowledge.
mm,
There might be some cultures I'm very aware of. There might be some kind of people I might be very aware of. There might be a profession I might be very familiar with. But there will be other levels of diversity within my team that I will not be aware of. So, if I were a leader of a diverse team, I would think about all of that and I was asked, what knowledge do I need to build first? When do I, what kind of immersion do I need to do? And I don't mean the regular immersion of understanding that Indians nod their head and shake their head for the
mm,
same thing, right? I don't mean that. What I mean is, do I know the history of the country that I am going to work in? Do I know what they worry about and care about today? Do I know the challenges of this nation? Do I know how this organization, when did they decide to enter this nation? And what is the objective of having an office in this country? What's the kind of talent that we really want to hire and bring there? What's the vision, right? And how do people think? How does each one of my team members think differently? And
mm,
can I actually both support and challenge them? And I think the thing that I notice that a lot of leaders struggle with is, what's good managing others? Managing others is a combination of supporting them and challenging them. Right. So what does that look like for each person? Some people require lower support, higher challenge, and the other way around. So what does that look like? And to be able to do that. So therefore, what I need to do as a leader is build knowledge. Second is drop judgment.
mm,
Absolutely drop judgment. The third is uniquely understand my people. Do not paint everybody with the same cultural brush. And the fourth is develop what we call in Indian philosophy as infinite customizability of my leadership style. I should be able to infinitely customize my style
mm,
and not be stuck in the style that has worked for me till now. So that's what I would actually encourage everybody to do. Because the one thing I do see, I think it was a question that you had sent me, Girish. You had asked me what might be a mistake that the leader might make, when, let's say, they come to an Asian country and culture. Um, Again, the mistakes that I've seen are at not being able to understand various levels of diversity, and that's true, by the way, whether Asians go to the other that side or the other way around. So this is a universal issue. But there is definitely one thing I have seen, which is that maybe it's because of the colonial past or whatever that might be. But when it comes to Asia, we Asians almost tend to assume that white people are better.
mm,
And Caucasians who come and work in Asia, even the most inclusive ones, um, I think it's almost become genetic. They believe they have done things better than Asians have till now.
mm,
So there is a little bit and unsaid, and most cases unintentional. Right? We don't know it, but that's what it is. I am better than you, there you are better than me. So that I think I do see a little bit of that. So it would be I envisage in Asia where every culture understands what we can be really proud of, what we can really leverage, what sets us apart, what makes us unique, why are we worthy, and occupy an equal space in this world with every other culture.
Yeah, I think what I heard, those four things that you mentioned, Haritha, as a leader, that said build knowledge, drop judgment, uniquely understand people, and build infinite customizability for the person. Yeah, I think it resonates a lot with what I usually hear, especially when we go to these forums of multinational or leading multinational teams, maybe Thai teams. The three things I've heard often people say is number one, be genuinely curious about where you are. So that actually resonates with your build knowledge because curiosity builds your knowledge. Be humble that, and as you said, that there is no ranking of who's better than the other, but humble enough to accept what is the good, what you see, what's the differences that you see, what you can learn, and what you can maybe teach someone. And number three, I've heard is empathy. It's having that empathy and concern also, not just stop at cognitive and emotional empathy that I understand you, I know what you feel, but I'm willing to now take that step to support you. As you said, the unique, customize, or infinite customizability, that we're able to do things after
Yes,
understanding, not just holding or stopping at the phase where you understand, that's
yes.
it. And you think, oh, you've already done your job, but it's taking that next step. How are you going to support and empower your team?
Correct.
Is
And
different.
I will just add one more thing there, which is
Mm,
I will not just have empathy, I will also be truly invested in you.
mm,
So, what does that mean? That means that I will not just adjust to who you are, but I will
mm,
push you out of your comfort zone as well.
mm.
So, that's why I keep saying that leadership is about supporting and challenging,
Yeah.
right? So, if I come across somebody who is very ambitious and very oriented to themselves, I will support that. I will give them the visibility. I'll give them the high value projects. I'll do all of that. But I also challenge them to think about working with others and being enabling others, mentoring others, and showing up equally strongly when it's a team project. I would do that. So it's a combination of both. So you're absolutely spot on with the three things that you said. The only thing I would add is I
Mm.
would also be truly invested in them, which means I will both support and challenge.